Hey guys, if you're new to Deception Bytes, hit the like and subscribe button and be sure to hit the bell to be notified of future videos. If you wish to support the channel, the links are in the description below. Now, fasten your seatbelt. Here we go.
All right, guys, I'm back, and it is Sunday, June 2nd, and it is 10:48 p.m. I'm getting a late start. I realize that, but that should not be anything new for any of you guys. So anyway, there are no Q posts for today, but we're going to get into some Q-related news. So let's go. Hope you all are feeling wonderful tonight. And I just want to tell you, so that you'll know, I'm not going to be posting a video tomorrow. I'm going to be out of town and staying in a hotel overnight, so I won't be available to post tomorrow, but I'm hoping that Tuesday I'll be back in time to post. That is my plan at this point, unless I run into something that gets me behind, but I don't foresee any reason that I could not post on Tuesday at this point. So wanted to give you guys the heads up because I know some of you guys worry when you don't see me, and I don't want that. All right, let's get into the Q-related news. All right, now this isn't really this is Canadian news, but it's not really. It's involves both countries because, interestingly enough, Justin Trudeau and Barack Obama caught up at Ottawa's Big Rig Brewery. They always had a very, shall we say, cozy relationship, and apparently still do. Justin Trudeau and Barack Obama's friendship was the stuff of legends and memes and fan fiction. So obviously when they met up at Ottawa's Big Rig Brewery on Friday night, there were pictures. Always great to catch up at Barack Obama, Trudeau captioned one social media photo. And here is a picture of them together at the Big Rig Brewery, having a brew together. Always great to catch up at Barack Obama. And that was from Justin. And then the brewery also shared a couple photos on its Instagram page. And there they are again, sharing a brew. And it said, yesterday, this is from Big Rig Brewery, they tweeted, "Yesterday was a good day. What an honor it was to have Justin Trudeau and Barack Obama stop by our brewery. Our doors and taps are always open. Cheers." And then there is this, where they took a picture together with the staff that was on that night. And it says, "Thanks again to Justin Trudeau and Barack Obama and their amazing team for spending some time with us. It definitely made our day." And I'm sure it did, and I'm sure that it brought them much more business, although they are quite popular, apparently, without that. Adam Scotty, the Prime Minister's official photographer, also shared some shots on his social media pages. And let's see if we can make this any bigger. Let me see. Here we have the, there they are. I guess they're ordering, and here they are, clinking glasses, and there they are talking, and boy, they really look into each other, like they're into each other. But anyway, let's go back now. Get rid of this. And HuffPost Canada reached out to discover what the duo talked about, but a spokesperson for the Prime Minister's office said they had no comment beyond Trudeau's tweet. HuffPost also reached out to Big Rig Brewery to find out what they sipped and snacked on, but did not hear back by the time of publication. The photos called back to those taken 2 years ago when Trudeau and Obama had dinner at Montreal's Liverpool House. And it says also, watch, Obama offers advice to Justin Trudeau. Well, he needs all the advice that he can, but probably not the best person to take it from. Anyway, Justin Trudeau is in enough trouble already. This time around, Obama was in Ottawa for a speaking engagement where he talked about his concern about deep fake videos on the internet and their ability to spread misinformation. And by the way, he is in part referring to the video of Nancy Pelosi, where they didn't so much doctor the video as they edited it out so that all her stuttering moments were pushed together, and it made her seem, of course, she doesn't need anybody to edit and make her seem less or more inarticulate than she is, because she already does that herself quite nicely. And they didn't make her do anything. They just clipped these segments out and put them together. So that is what Obama is talking about. And probably there's going to be more information coming out about him, and he'll say, oh, well, that's just fake news and blah, blah, blah. Just setting us up for the same old narrative. Trudeau's meeting with the former president comes a day after he met with current U.S. Vice President Mike Pence. While President Donald Trump was in Canada for the G7 summit in Quebec in 2018, he has yet to make a state visit to the country. And could you blame him? Everybody hates him here and makes it quite known. Another reason why I want to get back to the United States quickly, because if you say anything about Donald Trump here that is in any way positive, you are immediately, outcast. It's unbelievable, really. But it just made me wonder, and the reason I included this is, what is the reason that they're meeting together? What reason would they have for meeting together at this point when Barack Obama is no longer in politics? What are they, just such good friends that they want to spend time together? Because that's unusual. Not unheard of, but unusual. And he had just met with Mike Pence. So was he passing a message along? I don't know. But there's more to this than meets the eye. I can assure you of that. So let me know in the comments below what you think. What do you think they discussed? They're both in big trouble, and I mean big trouble. So perhaps they were discussing that. I don't know. But at any rate, let's move along and get into the next one. And let's look at this. I've never seen a former president act this way, the way that Obama acts. Barack Obama rebukes Donald Trump publicly for the first time. President Barack Obama is making his return to the political arena to help embattle Democrats win in November's midterm elections. And now when was this? Actually, this is old. I'm not sure how this got in here. So this is old. This is from like September of 2018. I'm not sure how this made its way into my list of things to go over, but obviously it was me. I mean, there aren't little gremlins around here making me talk about old news articles. So it was me, definitely, but this is old news. And he has, that was maybe the first time he spoke up publicly, but certainly not the last. He's quite vocal about his disdain for President Trump. All right. Let's go see what else we have. Now, this made me think. It was one of those things that kind of make you go, there's more to this than meets the eye. Because there was a massive explosion in Russia, okay? Massive explosion at Russian bomb-making factory, injures 79. Now, how many of you guys, when I just read that to you, assuming that this is the first time you're hearing it? If it's not, then this doesn't apply to you. But if this is the first time that you're hearing this, there was a massive explosion, and this was yesterday, June 1st, that this came out in the New York Post. Massive explosion at Russian bomb-making factory, injures 79. You've never heard this before. You're hearing it for the first time. Who do you think is responsible? Well, I know who I think is responsible, and I think it's our guys. Remember when all the places where they were in Afghanistan blew up, where they were, processing, what is it? Is it heroin? Yeah, it's heroin that comes from poppies. So I think. all of these places were blowing up. Well, that was us. And Q confirmed it. So do you think this was us? Because I'm thinking it was. Just saying. Says a massive explosion at a bomb-making plant in Russia has injured 79 people and damaged 180 homes in the city of, city that has a name that I can't pronounce. Officials said that the factory was used to make and store bombs and other explosive devices for the Russian military. The facility, JSC, Crystal Research Institute, was completely demolished by the blast. 5 people were working there at the time, but all got out safely, according to the BBC. The injured were hurt by glass shards from windows smashed by the explosion's shockwaves. There's no word here what happened, or if they suspect, or anything. There's just no word at all, except that, hey, guys, a bomb-making factory blew up. I don't know about you, but that makes me suspicious. And maybe I'm just a suspicious person, but I don't know. And I haven't heard any more about it. If you guys have, put it in the comments below, because I have not heard anything more about it. And it just made me wonder. Because you know that our military is up to stuff all over the world that we never hear about or know about. And it might be a little blip in a news article somewhere, but that's it. And, that's how they can't let us know every single thing that's happening that they're doing, because a lot of it is secretive and it would put our men and women of the military in danger. So I understand that. But when I see things like that and there's no explanation, there's no added information, makes me think that somebody was getting that out. So, telegraphing that to others that, yeah, we did this, but I could be completely off. I've been off for a while. So what do you guys think? It's always fun to hear what you guys think. Now, most of the time, a lot of you, I'd say most of you agree with me on most things, but some of you vehemently disagree with me on other things, and sometimes you're correct. You're the one that's correct. So I do enjoy reading the comments, not only for the humorous comments, but also I learn things because I'm just one person and there's a whole lot of you guys. So, chances are out there's people that have far more information than I do on certain topics. So anyway. Now, this is interesting. If you kill a preborn sea turtle, it's a $100,000 fine and a year in prison. If you kill a preborn bald eagle, $250,000 fine and 2 years in prison. However, if you kill a preborn human being, there's no penalty. That should really make you wonder. And yes, we should be good stewards of the land. We should be taking care of the animals, especially those animals that have, the chance of becoming extinct. I think that we should have good management practices as far as that goes, but it shows you what we value the most. When we're valuing animal life over human life, there is a big problem. That should never be, because that human being can never be replaced. And a lot of people look at it, well, we're overpopulated anyway. That's not the point. It's not the point. And to say to that child, you do not have a right to live, you do not have a right to exist. I don't know. Now, I know that everybody doesn't agree with me on that, and you know what? We can agree to disagree. You're always welcome here, whether you agree with me or not, and I don't ever delete comments that disagree with me unless they're particularly nasty or include a lot of bad language. But no, you are more than welcome to disagree with me. All right, this from Ryan Saavedra, and He's talking to James Comey. Now, you're going to find this interesting if you haven't already heard this. And many of you probably will have heard this because it's one of those things that's getting passed around a lot in social media. Now, James Comey had a text. Well, it wasn't a text, actually. It was a tweet. And we know that his Twitter account has been used in the past to send codes to others. He is part of the deep state, the cabal, and he does use that page to send messages to others. I remember not that long ago, I went over how James Comey's tweets tied into Notre Dame fire. So anyway, he says here, Bill Barr on CBS offers no facts. An AG shouldn't be echoing conspiracy theories. He should gather facts and show them. That's what justice is about. Q. Very curious. And Ryan Saavedra calls him on that. That's one heck of a typo. And the tweet disappeared. Actually, it was corrected. It was deleted and then tweeted without the Q. So who was he signaling? What did that mean? I don't know. Or was he saying, was he letting us know that these conspiracy theories that he was accusing Bill Barr of engaging in was in fact the conspiracy of Q? Don't know, but we had the other tweet by Donald Trump, and I believe that was yesterday, where he left off, he said, I can never get these initials right, LGBTQ. That's what it's supposed to be. LGBTQ. He left off the Q 3 times. So we've got James Comey signaling something by putting a Q in, and we've got Donald Trump leaving a Q out 3 times. Odd. There's something going on there that at least I have not figured out. There may be somebody out there that has. I've not found them, but I'm looking. I've been looking to see if anybody had a theory on this and could not find anything, but that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody hasn't come up with a theory. So if you've seen anything about this that I'm missing here, please put it in the comments below. It'll help us all. And let's go down to here. Now this is curious to me. And we've got Bill Maher tweeting this. Now we know Bill Maher is no fan of Donald Trump. And we know that Bill Barr is in the deep state. I don't know how deeply he is, but he's one of the red shoe guys, and we know what that means. So let me see here. He says, now Hillary has a Hollywood production company. And indeed, that's true. Hillary announced that she's starting a Hollywood production company with Chelsea. So I'm wondering about that. And I'm wondering what that's all about, because that's just out there. It's out there. She's been a politician her whole life, and I just don't get it. What qualifications does she have to start a Hollywood production company, unless it's a production company of, questionable. Yeah, you know what I mean. I think you know where I'm going with that. You guys are pretty smart, so I think you'll pick up what I'm saying there quite readily. So that's kind of weird. So Bill Maher says, now Bill Maher has been very supportive of Hillary in the past, so I don't know what's going on here. It says now Hillary has a Hollywood production company. If it's anything like her hard drive, she should crush it. Congrats, you finally found a calling lower than running a pedophile ring out of a pizza parlor. Whoa. Now, that is the last person that I would expect that tweet from. Really, just about the last. Maybe Jim Carrey. Yeah, he'd probably be the last. But Bill Maher would be right up there. He'd be in the running for the last. So, what do you guys think? Do you think that he's, changed? Do you think that he is trying to distance himself from these people because he knows what's coming? What is he doing? Why is he doing it? Seems odd. Seems very odd. So, and even if he's being tongue-in-cheek and saying, because we know that he denied the whole pizza thing and all that. So maybe if he's just being, tongue-in-cheek there, still doesn't make sense to me. Because even if you read it as a tongue-in-cheek thing, it doesn't make sense. It only makes sense reading it how he likely intended it, and that is as he says. Yeah, well, you found a calling lower than running a pedophile ring out of a pizza parlor. And yeah, it's just odd. And this is interesting too, if it's anything like her hard drive, she should crush it. Well, why did she have to bleach bit her hard drive and get rid of that stuff? Well, we know. And we know that she was in possession of things that she shouldn't have been in possession of. And we also know that she sold secrets to our enemies. So, yeah, it's an odd comment. And no matter how much I think about it, and I have thought about it, I've thought about it a lot, I can't get my head around it because no matter which angle I look at it, it doesn't make sense that he would be tweeting this. So what do you guys think? I would love to know, really, because maybe I'm overthinking this. I don't know. But this seems an unlikely source unless he is trying to distance himself from these people. And by saying, oh, yeah, I'm acknowledging that this went on and these people are responsible, then it distances himself from that. But we know that he is involved in some nefarious things, and I'm sure that will come out in time. Okay, now, this is going to be one of those things that you will be, for lack of a better word, gobsmacked over if you haven't heard it already, and I'm betting you haven't. So let's take a look at this. Now, this will interest you, I guarantee it. In fact, if it doesn't interest you, you better check your polls. All right, let's get rid of this. Okay, revealed. Barack Obama's gay transgender prostitute Nanny, who made him laugh by trying on his mother's lipstick. Well, I told you, I did warn you. So let's delve into this, shall we? Evie, 66, cared for future commander-in-chief she called Barry's a Toro, in late 60s. Offered job after she impressed Obama's mother with steak and rice. When family left Indonesia, she became a sex worker and now lives in a slum. So let's take a look at this, shall we? It's from the Daily Mail. And this is from the 6th of March, 2012, but I just found it. And I don't know, maybe I was living under a rock in 2012. I'm trying to remember what I was doing then. And I know I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I don't imagine, if this was splashed all over the news, I think I would have heard it at that point. So Barack Obama's former nanny has been revealed as a gay transgender man who made the future president laugh by trying on his mother's lipstick. Evie cared for the boy she called Barry when his mother, Ann Durham, moved to the Indonesian capital of Jakarta in the late 1960s. Openly gay, she would leave the house dressed in full drag, but was very careful that Barack never saw her. He was so young, and I never let him see me wearing women's clothes, Evie said, but he did see me trying on his mother's lipstick sometimes. That used to really crack him up. And let's come down here. And this is a picture of her here. It says, cared for Barack Obama, left, was looked after by transgender man Evie Wright when he lived in Indonesia. So let's come down here. And former life, Barack Obama's former nanny Evie, who was born a man but believes she is a woman, on the left in this picture. So this is her or him, or this is the person in question. All right, now let's move down. The nanny, who turned to prostitution after the family left and now lives in a slum, met the future commander-in-chief's mother at a cocktail party in 1969. Dunham, who had moved to the country 2 years earlier with her second husband, Lolo Soetoro, hence the name Barry Soetoro, sampled Evie's beefsteak and fried rice and was so impressed that she offered her a job. It did not take long before she was also 8-year-old Brock's caregiver, playing with him and bringing him to and from school. Neighbors recalled they often saw Evie, who believed she is really a woman, leave the house in the evening fully made up and dressed in drag. But when the family left in the early 1970s, things started going downhill. Evie moved in with a boyfriend. That relationship ended 3 years later, and she became a sex worker. You know, a prostitute. She said, "I tried to get a job as a maid, but no one would hire me. I needed money to buy food, get a place to stay." Poverty. Evie has suffered taunts and beatings throughout her entire life. She now lives in a tiny hut in a Jakarta slum. That's sad. That is very sad. And she was trying to find work as a maid and couldn't. It's very sad that some women, it's a choice between starving, women or men, whatever, choice between starving or entering the sex slave. I don't know. I've never been in that position. So anyway, young leader Barack Obama circled as a child at his school in Jakarta, Indonesia. And he is here. It was a cat and mouse game with security guards, and because the country was still under the dictatorship of General Suharto soldiers, they often rounded up banshees, or warriors as they are known locally, loaded them into trucks and brought them to a field where they were kicked, hit, and otherwise abused. That raid that changed everything came in 1985. Evie and her friends scattered into dark alleys to escape the swinging batons. One particularly beautiful girl, Sushi, jumped into a canal strewn with garbage. When things quieted down, those who ran went back to look for her. "We searched all night," said Evie, who is still haunted by the memory of her friend's face. "Finally, we found her. It was horrible. Her body swollen, face bashed in." Evie decided then and there to live the rest of her life as a man. She ditched her tight, flowery dresses, brocade vest, and bras. Now 66, she says, "I knew in my heart I was a woman, but I didn't want to die like that, so I decided to just accept it. I've been living like this, a man, ever since." Several longtime residents of Obama's old Menteng neighborhood confirmed Turkey had worked there as Barack's nanny for 2 years, also caring for his baby sister, Maya. Evie, who like many Indonesians go by a single name, now lives in a closet-sized hovel in a tightly packed slum in an eastern corner of Jakarta, collecting and scrubbing dirty laundry to pay for food. She wears baggy blue jeans and a white t-shirt advertising a tranquil beach resort far away in a place she has never been. She speaks softly, politely, and a deep worry line is etched between her eyes. As a child, Evie was often beaten by a father who could not stand having such a sissy for a son. She said, "He wanted me to act like a boy, even though I didn't feel it in my soul." Teased and bullied, she dropped out of school after the 3rd grade and decided to learn how to cook. She made her way into the kitchens of several high-ranking officials by the time she was a teenager, and then she met Obama's mother. Evie now seeks solace in religion, going regularly to the mosque and praying 5 times a day. She said she is just waiting to die. She added that she did not know the boy that helped raise won the 2008 U.S. presidential election until she saw a picture of the family in local newspapers and on TV. She blurted out that she knew him. Her friends at first laughed and thought she was crazy. Well, I better not skip over these pictures. This is little Barry Soetoro riding a tricycle, and this is him with his mother. Durham is her last name, and I'm forgetting her first name. It's there, but it's not there. Many neighbors, okay, where was I now? Um, Her friends at first laughed and thought she was crazy, but those who live in the family's old neighborhood confirmed it is true. Many neighbors would remember Turdy. She was popular here at that time, said Rudy Yara, who lives across the street from Obama's former house. She was a nice person and was always patient and caring in keeping young Barry. Evie hopes her former charge will use his power to fight for people like her. Obama named Amanda Simpson, the first openly transgender appointee, as a senior technical advisor in the Commerce Department in 2010. For Evie, who is now just trying to earn enough to survive each day on Jakarta Street, the election victory itself was not enough to give her a reason, for the first time in a long time, to feel proud. The election victory itself was enough to give her reason, for the first time in a long time, to feel proud. Now when people call me scum, she says, I can say, but I was the nanny for the President of the United States. This is a very interesting story to me, for many reasons. I feel horrifically sorry for this person, but it's interesting because it kind of goes in line with what we've been hearing about, Obama going to school in Indonesia, and, obviously many people believe he was born there, including his stepbrother, and I certainly don't believe that he was born in Hawaii. I don't for a moment believe that, and I think it's been proven, and I think the person that actually doctored the birth certificate is now dead, unfortunately, and I do believe she was murdered. And I did a video on it quite a while back that went through it all, the video that exists of the actual event and how I believe she was injected, and she drowned because she was injected, not because she was in any sort of panic, because you could see in the video that she wasn't panicking at all. In fact, they keep saying this plane crash happened way out. No, it didn't. It happened within sight of the shore. In fact, many people just swam to the shore. It was very, very shallow because it was on a sandbar. Now, yes, you couldn't touch there, but it wasn't really, really deep at all. And she was floating on something and just paddling away. She seemed very content and calm. And why wouldn't she be? She could see the shore. She knew that help was on the way. Why wouldn't she be calm? But they say that she was so distraught that she had a heart attack. Not so. All right. So this is interesting, if you ask me, for many reasons that I just stated. And I do feel bad for this person, and you'd think that, Obama would reach out to him, but obviously that hasn't happened. And he may not even remember, because this happened when he was a child, but just interesting. I thought that you guys would enjoy hearing about that. And let me see here. Let's go back. No, really, let's. All right, next we're going to go here to the BBC. All right, look at this. Another thing that is going to make you go, The U.S. demands social media details from visa applicants. Interesting. Nearly all applicants for U.S. visas will have to submit their social media details under newly adopted rules. The State Department regulations say people will have to submit social media names and 5 years worth of email addresses and phone numbers. When proposed last year, authorities estimated the proposal would affect 14.7 million people annually. Certain diplomatic and official visa applicants will be exempt from stringent new measures. However, people traveling to the U.S. to work or to study will have to hand over their information. We are constantly working to find mechanisms to improve our screening processes to protect U.S. citizens while supporting legitimate travel to the United States, the department reportedly said. And Previously, only applicants who needed additional vetting, such as people who had been to parts of the world controlled by terrorist groups, would need to hand over this data. But now, applicants will have to give up their account names on a list of social media platforms and also volunteer the details of their accounts on any sites not listed. Anyone who lies about their social media use could face serious immigration consequences, according to an official spokesman who spoke to The Hill. The Trump administration first proposed the rules in March 2018. At the time, the American Civil Liberties Union, a civil rights group, said that there's no evidence that such social media monitoring is effective or fair, and said it would cause people to self-censor themselves online. U.S. President Donald Trump made cracking down on immigration a key plank in his election campaign in 2016. He called for extreme vetting of immigrants before and during his time in office. On Friday, Mr. Trump vowed to impose gradual rising tariffs on Mexico unless the country curbed illegal immigration at the U.S. southern border. Now, there's a lot of problems with this because it's getting dangerously close to being like China. And I do understand in a sense, and especially if you're coming from a country that is, active, there are active terrorists there, then yes, but, people apply for visas to the U.S. for all sorts of reasons. A lot of reasons is because they go to the U.S. to study, and including Canadians, including, a lot of people from Japan and China come. And, I don't know. It just seems invasive, too invasive. What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't like the way all of this vetting is moving. There are ways to be vetted. And yes, okay, I understand that looking at your social media can be one. And if you don't have anything to hide, I understand that. I don't think I would have any issue with giving the government my social media stuff, but I don't know. I don't like to be, I don't know. I guess I feel like even though I'm not doing anything wrong, I don't want my privacy to be transgressed like that. So I don't know. What do you guys think about it? We're sure not vetting all the people that are coming across the border, the south border. We know that. So I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And we're going to move on. We sure are. All right, let's look at this next. And this may be... Actually, this is an old one too, so we're going to skip that. I don't know. I must have been, I don't know. I must have been drinking heavily today. I wasn't. I don't drink. But it seems like I have been because that's two articles that were old. They were so old, they were wrinkly. All right. This from Charlie Kirk. Facts. San Diego County, 138% registration rate. That means, I guess, 38% of those that were registered, I guess, are dead. I don't know. Los Angeles County, 112% registration rate. Overall, California has at least 1,736,556 more people registered than they have citizens. California has voted blue for decades. Is that why Democrats oppose voter ID? Well, of course. I think everybody knows that. I mean, that's so blatant. I mean, it's right there. Could bite your nose off. So, yeah, we know that's happening. And we know that there's dead people voting, and they always vote Democrat. Always. I don't know. I think, honestly, they need people to go into the graveyards. The walk-away people, they need to go into the graveyards and try to convert these people to Republicans. That's what I think needs to happen, because they just don't seem to want to stay in their grave. They're always jumping up and voting, but they always vote Democrat, and I don't understand that. Walk away, dead people. Just walk away. All right, and this. Now, this didn't seem to affect me, but perhaps it's affected you. Google service issue brings down dozens of services like YouTube, Snapchat for some users worldwide. And these areas that are shaded, either mustard yellow or red, are the areas of outage. And I am in the mustard yellow here, but I wasn't online in the afternoon either, so I don't know what happened. I don't know if there were outages here or not. I haven't heard that there were, but did you experience it? And do you believe that it's a Google server issue? Because I'm not buying that. Just not buying it. No, I don't think that happened. All right, now let's move on. Now, this just warmed the deep, dark cockles of my heart. Really, it did. It really, really did. And I'm going to show you, so the deep, dark cockles of your heart can be warmed as well. Trump makes unannounced stop at Virginia church. Now, let's look at this. And perhaps you've seen this already. Let me go back here because I want you to be able to hear it.
As a church, we just talked about how what unites us in this room is not.
And I just want to stop it here because I don't know about you, but every single president, and this is a known, everybody comments on it, they take office and by the time they leave office, they look like they've aged 20 years. Donald Trump here looks surprisingly good. He looks younger. I like his hair slicked back like that. It just suits him. He looks young there. I don't know. He just looks young. And I'll tell you another thing I noticed. He looks very, very humble. In fact, more humble than I've ever seen him look, ever. So let's go on here. He showed up at this church. It wasn't an announced visit, and he showed up at this Virginia church. He had been golfing earlier that morning, and he showed up at this Virginia church, and he asked for prayer, I believe. That's what he was there for. And of course, we had that plea from Franklin Graham to be praying for our president. And you know something? We really need to take that seriously because I think that 24/7, this man's life is in danger. I've never heard so many people. I mean, there was a lot of people that didn't agree with Barack Obama, but I didn't hear anybody talk about, offing the guy. So, but now people are they just spout it out, and it's all over social media. It's all over everywhere that, we got to do something about this. So this man's life is in danger. And every minute of the day, he is in danger. So we do need to pray for him. So let's just continue here.
Our ethnicity, our background, for your blessings on our president toward that end. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
He looks young there. He looks humble. And you can see by his lips, it was very obvious what he said to the pastor. Thank you very much. I appreciate it very much. I just think it's interesting. I made it a little bit bigger there so you could see. Let me see if I can get it to the point where he is. See, here he is walking on stage. He doesn't say anything, but the pastor prays for him and he leaves. But he looks younger. He looks fitter. I don't know what he's done, but he really does. And he's dressed so casually. You know, you always see him in the suit and the tie and all that, and he's dressed respectfully, but he's dressed very casually. And he looks soft. He looks softened, like he looks humble, and I don't know. This really impressed me, and I just can't get over it. I don't know why, but I can't. There's something about this that is really quite profound. He didn't draw any attention to himself, really. He didn't, say, oh, vote for me or anything like that. He went, he got prayed for, and he left. It's just very interesting. And it says, hang on here. President Trump on Sunday made a brief unannounced visit to a Virginia church following a morning at his golf club. The White House said Trump was stopping at McLean Bible Church in Vienna, Virginia, to visit with the pastor and pray for the victims of the community of Virginia Beach. Now, from my knowledge, he did not pray publicly for the victims, but I don't know if he met with the pastor before service and they prayed. I don't know. But at any rate, said, but the stop on Sunday lasted only a short time and there was no explicit mention of the shooting victims. 12 people died. Okay, we don't care about that. They're just trying to make it look bad because, that he should have done this and that. But Trump has tweeted his condolences and spoken with local leaders. Trump walked on stage at the church wearing khaki pants and a jacket over his polo shirt and holding a golf hat. And notice when he walked in with the hat, but he removed it because traditionally it's always been an act of respect to remove your hat in a church. I just think that that's interesting as well. He stood alongside Pastor David Platt, who noted that there had been calls from Christian leaders to pray for the president on Sunday. We don't want to do that just on this Sunday, Platt said. We want to do that continually, day in and day out. So I want to ask us to bow our heads together now and pray for our president. The pastor went on to offer a prayer for the president and other political leaders. We know we need your mercy, we need your grace, we need your help, we need your wisdom in our country, he said, and so we stand right now on behalf of our president and we pray for your grace and your mercy and your wisdom upon him. The pastor added that he was praying not just for the president, but also for leaders in Congress, leaders in courts, and state leaders. The president did not make remarks on stage before departing. Evangelist Franklin Graham and 250 other Christian leaders last week announced they were calling for a special day of prayer to set aside time to lead their local congregations in praying for the president on Sunday. Trump had retweeted several messages on Saturday night mentioning the planned day of prayer. So that is amazing as far as I'm concerned. If you have a different opinion, please state why and put it in the comments below. You are always welcome to disagree, and you won't be deleted because of it. So there you go. And let's just go back here and let's look at this. Now, Nadler just openly admitted the truth on impeachment. It's a political act. Now, of course, we know that, but to have them admit it, that's something entirely different. Now, hang on, just don't want this to start playing. And it did. Now, let's go down here. When it comes to the Trump impeachment drumbeat, few lawmakers have been as insistent and transparent as House Judiciary Committee Chairman Gerald Nadler. The New York representative was at it again Friday, although he may have let on a bit too much in his remarks during a radio interview. Nadler was making an appearance on WNYC, Gotham's NPR outlet, when he said there certainly is justification for impeaching President Donald Trump. However, his definition of impeachment and what he thinks the role of congressional investigations are may not resemble yours. Oh, I can just about guarantee that it doesn't. Impeachment is a political act, and you cannot impeach a president if the American people will not support it, he said, according to Politico. The American people right now do not support it because they do not know the story. They don't know the facts. We have to get the facts out. We have to hold a series of hearings. We have to hold the investigations. Now, let's look at the assumptions there. The first is that impeachment is ostensibly a political decision, not a legal one. And that is not true. There might be legal language behind it. Trump lied. Trump obstructed justice. What about Michael Cohen and that non-disclosure agreement with Stormy Daniels? But the decision for and against impeachment is now about how it would affect the Democrats' chances in 2020 and beyond, not anything the president may or may not have done. And it's been that way long before Special Counsel Robert Mueller released his report. Mind you, you just heard it on the fringes. Yeah, the fringes being, those of us that were following Q. In December 2017, long before the report had been released, California Democrat Representative Maxine Waters laid out the political calculus a little too perfectly. Impeachment is about whatever the Congress says it is. There is no law that dictates impeachment. What the Constitution says is high crimes and misdemeanors, and we define that, she said, according to csnews.com. Never mind the fact that high crimes and misdemeanors is actually a phrase taken by the founding fathers from 14th century English parliamentary law that deals with specific acts regarding gross errors in governance. Waters was willing to say at the time what other Democrats wouldn't. If it worked out well enough for them, they'd certainly find the crime. And then there's the second part of Nadler's formulation. The reason Americans don't support impeachment isn't because they don't think the grounds for it exist or because they're weary of political gamesmanship. It's because they just don't know enough. Duh. When the Democrats get the facts out to these poor, uninformed wretches, they'll be on board with impeachment like all knowledgeable folks are. I don't know how much more condescending you can get, given that Americans have been force-fed news about the Mueller investigation like a goose destined to become foie gras undergoing gavage, whatever. They're pretty darn well informed and they still don't care. But there's a third issue with what Nadler said. To turn these people into impeachment supporters, we have to get the facts out. We have to hold a series of hearings. We have to hold the investigations. In other words, goal of these investigations and hearings isn't to discover the facts and decide whether impeachment is called for. That seems to have already been decided as far as Nadler is concerned. That this instead appears to be a kangaroo court to dredge up support for an expressly political act. And I could not agree more with that. Nadler emphasized that he intends to use the next few weeks to bring Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report to life, providing for a television audience the dramatic evidence that Mueller compiled about Trump's effort to thwart the investigation of Russian interference in the 2016 election, Politico reported. Part of that will include testimony from Mueller himself, Nadler said, even if Mueller sticks to his promise to limit his comments to the findings of the report. What else will bringing Mueller's report to life include, pray tell? A life-size wax diorama of the president bawling out Jeff Sessions, letting Michael Cohen out on a day pass so he can give a dramatic monologue about how awful Trump is? Really, I'd love to know this. And then there was that requisite reference to former President Richard Nixon during the interview, because of course, part of the function of Congress, just the same as the Watergate hearings 40 years ago, is to have a dialogue with the American people so people can make informed decisions and know what's going on, Nadler said. It's very important that Mueller, to a television audience and to the American people, state it and answer questions about it, even if there is no new information. Yet, even If there's no new information, this apparently qualifies as dialogue with the American people, not a monologue where old information is being recapitulated in yet another round of hearings and investigations in the vain hope that it all takes with the plebes this time. There's been a recent surge in the number of Democrats on the House Judiciary Committee who support starting an impeachment inquiry, with 11 of 24 Democrats saying they want proceedings on the matter to begin. How far that gets is anyone's guess, given that the House Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California has been actively reining in any desire on the parts of the Democrats to pursue impeachment. Given that this is an individual who has said that the president needs an intervention, that's saying something about how she thinks the political calculus will work out for them. However, Nadler's proving true what Waters said long ago: for the Democrats, high crimes and misdemeanors is whatever they say it is. Impeachment is, first and foremost, a political decision, a decision to destroy Trump at whatever cost. For once, you can believe every word Gerald Nadler says. Now, I thought that was a very good article, and I think they kind of encapsulated quite well what's going on. We certainly know it's political. We know that there's absolutely nothing that Trump has done that is an impeachable offense. And certainly he didn't obstruct the investigation. I think he did everything in his power to give them all the information that they were requesting. And how do you obstruct a crime that never happened? Pretty hard to do. So there you go. And honestly, if Trump was, if they couldn't find any information and Trump was willingly giving over all this information to them that they requested, then why would he be giving all this information if he was trying to obstruct? And it doesn't make any sense. And he knows he's innocent, so why would he obstruct? You know, he knew they weren't going to find anything. So anyway, there you go. Now, there's lots of news today, as there always is, but those are the things that I wanted to be sure to bring to you. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of news over the next couple days. So I'm not going to be posting tomorrow. I will be away out of town, but I will be posting on Tuesday. So there you go. I hope you guys found that interesting, and I hope that you will return. I hope to see you Tuesday night when I return. And you guys have a great evening, and stay safe, stay blessed, and keep seeking truth, because deception bites. I appreciate you guys so much, and I will talk to you later.